As we progress in our coding journey, we will always learn new things every day. Today, we will bring our website to life and introduce new features in HTML and CSS. So buckle up, this is going to be a good one. Before starting, let's first edit our HTML. Find the main tag and rename it to section tag. In the CSS, find the main and replace it with section as well. If you refresh, nothing should change. Now re-add the main, but this time wrap the section inside. We do that because we will have more sections later. Now let's refine the header. Remove the padding top and bottom by setting the existing padding from 1 rem 2 rem to 0 rem 2 rem. This keeps the padding on the left and right. Next, target the list items and add padding to them instead. And remove the gap that separate them. We will need this later for animations. Also, target the header H3 and add some padding to center it. In the HTML, find the home link and add a class attribute next to the href. Attributes in HTML provide extra information about an element. Name this class active because we are on the home page and save. In the CSS, to change the background of the list item that has the active link, we can use the "has" selector. This will first target list items, but also check if any list item contains an a.active and apply the styles accordingly. You can experiment by moving the active class around in the HTML. Now let's introduce our first animation effect in CSS. The "hover" pseudo class lets us add effects when an element is hovered over. Let's start with a button. It's the easiest example. Under the button style, add button:hover. This style will be triggered whenever we hover over the button. What if we change the background, add some shadow, and move the button up on hover? Let's do that. Back to the links. We just need to target the list item that has an hovered link and change its background to our liking. Now let's add more section inside the main. First, add a class attribute to the existing section and name it welcome. In the CSS, replace section with .welcome to target it using a class. In HTML, above it, add 2 more sections with class attributes form and image. Below the welcome section, add an offers section. If you save at this point, nothing will change. Now, inside the HTML, for each section, add an inline style attribute. Yes, inline styles allow us to define properties directly in the HTML. Let's define some property to each section by adding style = grid area and give appropriate name to each 4 sections. Don't forget to add placeholders inside each section. lorem20 and tab for the form, lorem10 for the image, and lorem50 for the offers. Inside the CSS, create a rule set for main and set its display to grid. This allows us to arrange its children in a grid layout. Move the max width and margin properties from .welcome to main and change the top and bottom margin from 0 to 1 rem. Now comes the exciting part. Remember the grid area names we set in the HTML? We will now use them to position the sections inside the grid. Inside the main, underneath the display grid, add grid template areas : double quotes. Essentially, this line creates a row layout, and each child element will be placed into the grid according to the positions we define them within the quotes. If this sounds tricky, just follow along and it'll make more sense as we go. We decide to have 4 columns, so inside one row there should be 4 grid area. We have in this first row 2 form and 2 welcome. We can write the second row inside another double quote. In the next row, we have 1 image and 3 offers. Save and see our website taking shape. Now remove the padding inside the .welcome. Remove the align self of the button and replace the text align of .welcome H1 to line height 1.1. Let's set a general rules now for every sections. Create a section rule set and let's add a background color. A padding of 2 rem. A border radius of 10 pixels, and a box shadow. Box shadow will create a drop shadow for the elements. Still remember how to make the design breathe? Add gap of 20 pixels in the main and a padding of 12 pixels to detach the edge of children from the edges of main. How satisfied are you with the layout so far? Now let's refine it further. Set the aspect ratio of image to square. Let's add hover effect to the sections. To make the transition smooth, add for each element that has affected transition property and set it to all, 0.3 seconds and ease. Your challenge is now to make our website look even better with all the knowledge you've gained so far. Now that our website looks smooth, how about making it responsive? In the next video, we'll cover how to make websites work on any screen size. For now, stay safe and keep learning.